Oh, is it?
Road trips!
Today on Road Trips, Dan and I go back in history to explore the Fort Clatsop National Memorial in Warrenton. So now, let's hit the road. Welcome to this edition of Road Trips. I'm Todd Hilton.
I'm Dan Bradley.
And today, we'll be going to Fort Clatsop, just like we said on our last show, where we had Mr. Chris DeVoice joining us for our trip to Warrenton and the beach area. We had a good time, and we thank Chris for joining us on that trip. Today started out lousy. Yeah, it was. The weather wasn't very favorable, and miraculously it cleared up. It was raining around home, St. Helens area. Now, as soon as we reached Astoria, it cleared up. We'll be heading to Fort Clatsop. Just as actually, what happened on the last show is we made it up there.
Didn't make it in.
Didn't make it in. We'd made it. What was it, like 15 minutes?
Late.
15 minutes after they closed, so we didn't get to go in. But all for the better. Gives us a chance to go today and make it its own separate episode. So hopefully if all goes well, we'll show you around the fort, and there's a small museum there, and basically we'll be taking a trip back to the part of the Oregon Trail, or I guess it was actually I think Fort Clatsop is the end of the Oregon Trail, isn't it?
Close to it, yeah.
I think that's
yeah, it is.
It's the recreation of the fort that Lewis and Clark had built and stayed at, either at the end or towards the end of their journey to the Northwest. And we'll be taking a look at that today. Right now, we're in Astoria. We decided to go ahead and bypass the highway. A little creative driving by Dan here. Whoa, that was close. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that was I wouldn't have done that. Not in my car.
Yeah, your car's just a little bit too big for just
a little too long to do that, yeah. Besides, I don't have the guts to pull something, and I can't afford to fix it. So. But anyway, as I was saying, we're in Astoria right now, and we've decided to bypass the highway because we've already seen it in at least one other episode.
Several other episodes. Okay.
Well, the Warrenton trip, and then we took. This is the third time we've been down here in a trip. Okay, yeah, the first time visited the Maritime Museum and the Astor Column, which at the time we're taping this has just finished airing. So,
yes.
Speaking of airing, hopefully by the time this episode goes on Channel 9, we'll also be playing over in Longview, KLTV. So the folks over there,
Yes.
so the folks over in Cowlitz County can enjoy road trips, as we enjoy bringing it to you. Or at least we say we enjoy it. We really don't. No, it's fun. We got to take it on Dan's days off. I got a little more flexible schedule than he does, work schedule. So And luckily, today, it's turned out in our favor, weather-wise.
Absolutely, yeah. The week before was lousy.
Yeah. We were going to take this trip. This is actually the third time that we've had this trip planned. And, well, let's see. Last week, we've now switched to Tuesdays now. It used to be Wednesdays. Last Tuesday was pouring down rain. We said there's no way we're doing road trips. Not after the Ape Caves trip.
Oh, definitely. It was a rather interesting trip. Pain in the butt one too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
all that heavy equipment in the house. It's like, dude.
Yeah, we don't recommend taking video equipment into the Ape Cave. Not that it's not worth it, but it's not worth it.
Especially after you guys could actually see it on your own couch. I mean, you don't really need to.
Oh yeah, we've already done it, so why bother? No, that one was. It turned in the end. It turned out good. In fact, as we're taping this, it's airing. Ape Caves episodes starts playing this week in the St. Helens area, and by next week it'll be in the rest of the county, Rainier, Clascanai, Vernonia. So all of Columbia County can enjoy road trips. Yeah, the Ape Caves trip was probably our most difficult trip, camera-wise. Started out pretty crummy. It was pouring down rain for the first part of the trip while we were on I-5. That it was so bad you couldn't even see where we were driving. Just had to take our word for it.
We were driving was bad enough.
Yeah, just the fact the car was in motion, you had to take our word for it. And then that was only the beginning. Then the actual taping inside the cave, that was it wouldn't have been quite so bad if it was just a regular shoot, but well, as you saw, for you road trips fans, if you saw that episode, you know what a pain it was to do, because both Dan and I had both hands full.
Yes, it was nasty. We do absolutely recommend definitely shoes, proper shoes,
Yeah.
proper clothing. What I was wearing was not sufficient for cave dwelling people like us.
Right.
We will be attempting to hit the ice caves and Oregon caves and those caves later. Much later.
Yeah, we actually heard from the folks there at the Apes headquarters there that there's actually, what do you say, over 200 or something like that, caves around the Southwest Washington area, which blew me away, because I guess the reason that we didn't know is they're not public caves, they're just caves in general. And I imagine most of them probably aren't that safe to go into. And like
not. He also did point out the fact that they're actually discovering more caves around that area as they do a little bit more exploring and stuff.
Yeah, I imagine most of those caves were probably formed by the same eruption that made the Ape Cave there at Mount St. Helens 1900 years ago. But the Ape Cave is safe to go into, and is one of the more popular tourist attractions in the Mount St. Helens area. We enjoyed it. Would have enjoyed it more if we wouldn't have had to lug all that equipment around.
Oh, yes.
We're carrying, most of it was just that it was the battery and the light. That was the camera wasn't so bad, but in order to operate our 12-volt spotlight, we had to bring a lawnmower battery, which probably weighed a good 20 pounds.
About that.
So that was the big problem right there. So Dan and I had to switch off frequently because of that. But it turned out okay. It was really hard to see through the viewfinder. But as we found out, more details showed up in the final image when you watch it on a color TV. Then you can see through the viewfinders. Everything was real dark in the viewfinder, but the detail is there. And hopefully you can see it good enough. You can get a good idea what things look like in there. And right now,
Did we take the left up here? No. Yes. No. Can't take the left.
Airport, Fort Clatsop Junction, quarter of a mile.
Take a left. We have to take it up here. Cool. All right, past the second light, people. Take a left, quarter of a mile.
Yes, we're in Warrenton right now. We just passed the Fred Meyers there. We're about to take a left here to Fort Clatsop National Memorial or something.
Something like that.
Something like that.
And here we go.
This is another short, real easy trip to make. There's a lot to see around the coast area, Astoria and Warrenton area. A lot of historical stuff too, such as Fort Clatsop. That's pretty much a national landmark.
Pretty much.
After we drove all the way up there, place was closed. I think we missed the closing by 15 minutes.
15 lousy minutes. Do you understand that, people? Lousy. Oh.
So we didn't get to go in. Wow, we got someone in front of us who's way out of state here. That's a new one. South Carolina here, folks.
This area, no stuff.
I've never seen anyone from South Carolina around here. That's a new one. Okay, let's see. Fort Clatsop National Memorial. Looks like we're almost there to the final turnoff to get there. As I said earlier, we bypassed all tape. Pardon the camera there, folks. You may see the camera tip every now and then. We'll try to get that fixed for you, but there actually won't be very much taped on the road as out in the field when we actually get there.
Yes. More. Speaking of morph. Yes. From what I remember, it's a very interesting museum. They have a lot of slides and slide presentation and all this other good stuff. And that wasn't it. Cool. Anyway,
We're
at the Fort Clatsop they're going to. They have an actual film presentation, and
I've been there once. I may have been there twice. I'm not quite sure, but I've been there at least once. So I know it, but it's been a while. It's been quite a while since I've been up here.
yes, they might have put in a fee. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. If they do, we'll let you know what that is, and also we'll let you know what the hours are for the area.
We do know they close at 5.
Yes, they do close at 5. That much we know. Okay, Fort Clatsop National Memorial, half a mile. You know, it's funny when we came up here in the last show. I don't remember this road, or I don't remember it looking like this. Of course, the three of us were talking at the time, and so I probably wasn't paying attention.
As usual. Yeah.
As usual. Let's just hope Dan's paying attention because he is the one that's driving.
No, I'm not.
Oop-a-doop-a-doo.
And this be it.
Okay, that's why we're entering another turnoff. This is why I don't remember it. Okay, this is the road. I thought there was one less turn than there actually is here. These people are probably going the same place we are.
No, you might want to straighten the camera out.
We're having a heck of a time with our camera here, folks. Hopefully you can see. I know we had on the Ape Caves Trip. I didn't even know it until I edited the episode. We actually had quite a bit of wobbling in the camera. Actually, not so much wobbling, but the camera would be tipped to one side. Sorry about that, folks. That's what happens when you have no cameraman. Of course, we're used to it, but I guess
We just don't pay attention.
yeah, we just don't notice anything. Completely oblivious service road. Completely oblivious to everything.
It's like I just did there. I mean,
Yeah, they got two roads here.
we got an innie and an outie. And we're gonna go in the innie, not the outie.
Right.
And we're not talking cars here, people. Okay, we're not talking about the outie, the car. We're talking about.
Right. There's the in and there's the outie. Okay, that was stupid. Forget I said that. All right.
He's lost his mind.
All right, we are in Park Open, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Okay. Okay, that's one other thing we don't know anything about. I thought it was 5. I guess it was 6.
After 5, and it was closed.
Huh. Unless they've changed their hours since we were up here last time.
Well, you never know. Some of these things these people do.
Okay.
No, I want to go left.
Okay, we're in the parking lot now of the place.
Dangerous parking lot, I might add.
Yeah.
Can we squeeze in here?
Oklahoma. We got all the vacationers up here today. Of course, it is summer.
Oh, they reserved my spot for me. How convenient.
There wasn't a handicap sign on there, was there?
Yes.
Okay, then we found our spot. Okay.
Because we are mentally handicapped and proud of it.
We found our spot. We should have bring out our little spray paint stencil that says reserved for road trips.
Yes.
Road trips. Road trips. All right, we're here at the they call it the visitor center.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we don't have any problem getting in there. There shouldn't be any problem getting into the fort itself. We're gonna
Always. It's the opposite. We don't have any problem getting here, but
right. So we'll take a break, and in fact, let's run that road trips promo, shall we? We'll be right back.
Road trips.
Road trips, for when you just want to get in the car and go. Road trips, for when you want to see the sights without leaving the couch. A new series from Nowhere Video Productions. Road trips, where getting there is half the fun, and in most cases, half the show.
Alright folks, we're back. We're outside the Fort Clatsop Visitor Center, and shortly we're going to be going inside, and we'll show you around. We went in just a minute ago and found out some news, some pricing and other information.
yes,
Give us that.
it's like $2 for an adult, $4 for a carload. $4. There we go. Have to say it here. And then they have senior discounts and club discounts and all that sort of good stuff.
And there was talked about a pass or something, and it's like
Like $10 for an annual, yearly pass type of a thing.
it said it said it's good for 7 days. Allows you 7 days to get in, I guess.
That's pretty good. That works out.
All right, so we'll go in and take a look around.
Oh yes. Can't hear actual garbage. Go for it. This appears to be Astoria Sakagiwea, the Native American.
Sacagawea.
Sacagawea.
Looks like Sacagawea.
Sacagawea. Proper pronunciation. Yes, and this looks like it might be our actual garment.
Hold the mic up.
Yeah, it looks like it might be our actual garment. I'm not exactly sure. She was a very small one by the looks of it.
Looks like it.
It's
Probably some kind of hide, I imagine.
probably deer. Maybe, yeah. Looks like deer. We'll have our language interpreted. We'll find our own brothers and chief.
That's probably not her there. I imagine that's just a representation.
Yes. See by the this old picture here, you got kind of an idea of what she looks like from Taurus. Yes, by the looks of it, she was a rather small woman.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and it's Sacagawea, not Sacagawea.
It's real close.
And here's some
that's
stuff.
cool.
This?
I like that.
Oh, 3D view. Looks like they have a whale or something beached. Yeah, it looks like a whale.
Glass in there.
It's glass.
What's this here? Alright, looks like something's gonna happen. Oh.
Upon learning that a large whale had become stranded on a beach about 20 miles southwest of Fort Clatsop, Captain Clark and a small party from the expedition left the fort to obtain meat from the Indians. Clark described their experience in his journal entry for January 8th, 1806, essentially as follows.
We found only the skeleton of this monster on the sand. The whale was already pillaged of every valuable part by the Killamox Indians, in the vicinity of whose village it lay. The skeleton measured 105 feet long. I returned to the village and found the natives boiling the blubber, which they performed in a large wooden trough by means of hot stones. The oil was secured in the guts of the whale. The blubber was laid by in their cabins for use. This they exposed to the fire on a wooden spit and then eat. Although they possessed great quantities of blubber and oil, the Killamox disposed of it with reluctance. We were able to procure 300 pounds of blubber and some oil. Small as this is, I prize it highly, and thank Providence for directing the whale to us.
Absolutely interesting. It's amazing.
That worked good. Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
It's a great model here. Probably took a long time to put something like this together, and it looks
Real.
yeah, it looks
nice.
very realistic.
It's nice to see quite a bit of realism. Ooh, they even have a canoe.
Canoes.
Yeah, that's cool. And some of the stuff they actually used in there. A few arrows by the looks of it in the background.
Yeah.
Hide, an actual bow, a couple of them too. It's nice. This looks like a spear down here.
Very long. Some kind of a.
Looks like a fishing spear.
Not unlike the harpoon we saw at the Maritime Museum.
Oh yeah. Oh, these are pretty cool oars.
The oars there.
Oh yes.
There's some more different shapes and sizes there.
Most definitely. What is this? This drawing of a double-bladed knife. Dude. Yeah, see that was a see the harpoon for shore for fishing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now what's this thing here? Looks like a giant toothbrush.
That's a good
That's what it looks
question.
like. You got a drawing of that somewhere? Don't see anything.
No, I don't. Yeah,
That's
it
what
does.
it looks like though. Looks
Looks
like
like
a
a giant-
comb or something.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, okay.
It rakes
Yeah.
in fish from the water. Dude.
sweeping the rake into a school of herring and depositing them into the canoe. So it is a comb, basically.
It's not bad with a fish. Well,
A statue here, a nice one.
and they have dogs, and they have fish, and they have guns, they have paper, they have pins. They have hats. That must have been Sakagewia's husband or whatever right there. I think, maybe. Either that or another Indian.
Or it's George Washington.
George Washington. Oh, cool. Some rifles and stuff?
General William Clark's family tree. Right here.
Oh, dude.
Cool.
1989, 1991.
You're kidding.
No, it's up
Whoa.
to date.
Damn.
90, 87, 72, 70. Hey, this dude's the same old, as old as I am. It's Richard Conrad Hilton Jr.
Are these birth dates?
Yes.
Huh.
Birth dates and dates of death.
Oh, okay, yeah. Huh.
These are dates of birth. So these people are still alive out here. And some in here, too. Dude.
Huh.
Wow.
That's cool.
Goes all the way to 8 generations. That is cool.
I wonder how they keep track of that stuff.
Very carefully.
Very carefully, yeah.
Look at this. Actually, it's jerky.
That stuff's gotta be pretty ripe.
It's probably vacuum sealed or something. I don't know.
What's this here? Is that more of...
Let's see. Tearing of food or meat spoil. Jerky. It's probably another form of jerky. Fish diet. It would also depend on fish for survival. Can't imagine why. Oh, cool. Rifle.
firearms.
Cool.
Now there's a noisy cricket.
Yeah.
For you Men in Black fans there. That's a tiny thing.
Nice.
Looks like a one-shot deal. Of course, actually, I think a lot of these
They're
are
all one shots.
Huh.
Violins and boat hooks and axes and there's a broad axe and a falling axe and it's absolutely amazing. Stone Age compared to stuff we use nowadays.
Yeah. And these are all, look at this one. It's like that was hand carved, man.
Oh yes.
You can see that.
You can definitely tell this thing was used often.
Yeah. It looks like a barrel. Looks like a small
Fro maul?
barrel or something.
Looks like a fro maul is what it says here.
Fro and maul.
Fro and maul. Different types of spices they used. Don't know how you guys can pick that up.
And we can see it. We can't see what they are, but we can see them.
You got an idea of what it looks like or looked like.
Yeah, the one that's out there is a replica. I believe I think the original, didn't it burn down or something?
I think that's what happened.
Either that or it just rotted away. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it burnt down.
Yeah, probably. Let's see, about your visit. Yeah. Visit Clark. Oh, boom, boom. Okay. Talks about salt makers and
In about 5 minutes, our 3:30 native skills demonstration will be starting in the fort replica. I believe this is an opportunity to learn how the Clatsop Indians could make a lightweight rope from cedar bark, and you will be able to give it a try if you're interested. If you'd like to learn about that native skill, head down towards the fort. That'll be starting at 3:30.
That must be what they're making.
Yeah, looks like rope actually made out of bark.
We're not talking about the dog type bark, we're talking about bark.
Woof, bark. No, not. Huh.
Fish, beaver pond or something? Beaver, possibly.
Should say
Elk
somewhere.
skin cover. That's what that is. Elk skin cover. Huh. Cool, look at that. Little stamp. Cool.
Oh, wow. That's like a, one of those wax things that holds the, it'll hold like a letter shut or something, like one of those Hallmark things. Well,
Oh, Clark's Journal with an elk skin cover. That's what that is. That's part of that.
oh, okay, that's a picture of it. Huh.
Don't say that. Looks like a beaver pellet.
Well, it looks like, I mean, the head's on this thing, dude.
Yeah.
These guys are real down here.
No, beavers are running muskrat or something.
Yeah, these guys down here are definitely real.
Snuff Cajun.
What?
Bird.
Snuff Cajun. Yeah, these are pretty cool. They show the actual, I don't know if they're scale models, but they're wooden models of, well, Fort Clatsop there and a couple other ones I'm not familiar with.
Fort Baby Hill.
Mandan. Campwood River. This one here reminds me of Fort Vancouver, only on the smaller version of like the same design.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? So that's kind of a nifty idea, having the 4 houses on the outside and the main one in the middle.
Yeah, they have the fencing there actually meets up with the buildings there. Well, let's see what else we got.
Making fires.
Say what?
So we're making fires.
Oh. Here, okay. You know what that is? That's a beaver. That's a beaver. And did you see the drums that I made for Colin Haley?
Cool.
Okay. See that little beaver hide right there?
A top hat. Yes.
Well, see, they every
Dude.
so that none of these hides will fly out and fall to
This is what's an actual thing. It's an actual book. Old one by the looks of it. Way old. Thomas Jefferson Instructions, June 20th, 1803.
And this?
Cool.
This was President Jefferson, and he sent Captain Lewis and Captain Clark. And 33 people and a big dog. Come all the way out here. Okay, and there's, they're getting ready for the journey. This was their first camp that they built.
See, Meriwether Lewis and William
While they were
Clark.
getting ready. They were getting ready to go on this very long journey by boat.
Look at that, they're rich
By
people.
boat, and over the mountains on horses.
We're all wearing the same clothes.
Yes.
No, that's not the one we were in. I'll show you that in a minute.
It's TJ.
Way back in Missouri. And then, they spent
Oops. All right, folks. well, we're outside the visitor center. Now we're on the trail that goes to the actual fort. Well, the replica anyway, that we call Fort Clatsop. Not a very long trail, but
About 100 yards
100 yards.
from the visitor center.
Nice walk through the woods here on the bark dust trail, or wood chip trail, whatever you want to call it. Excuse the camera bobbing as Dan is walking. Oh, check out the dude there.
After that, I'm not going to answer
Got an authentic guy out here. He's probably the one that did the rope demonstration. Looks a lot smaller than it did last time I was here. Of course, that tells you, yeah, if that tells you anything.
Yes.
So there it is. I don't know what year they actually built this replica, but it is on the exact spot the original was on. I do know that much. They have a billboard thing over there to our left. I guess it has a diagram of the fort. Probably tells. I know there's several rooms inside the fort. Each of them designated as being a certain activity rooms. Here we go. Here's the billboard here, and it shows a diagram of the fort. It looks like there's 7 rooms, 7 main rooms. And I got a painting or something of it. And it says here at the top, at this place we had wintered and remained from the 7th of December 1805 to this day, and have lived as well as we had any right to expect. That was said by Captain Clark, Fort Clatsop, March 23rd, 1806. Long time ago.
Yes.
A little before my time, I'd say.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a step inside, walk this way. I say that way too much. And you know what Dan says way too much? Nasty. That's one. What's the other one?
Yay.
That's fine.
A higher valve would go easier through the water, especially if you're out there and the ocean waves are going across the mouth of the Columbia River. Your water's going to come up with about a curl off the sides. Cedar's such a good word to work with. What you're going to do is they would actually heat it up inside, put sticks in it, and start bowing it out and push it out. So then you get more of the curve, so it cuts through the water better. We'll go ahead and pass that around. Be careful with it. It's kind of a fragile little guy. The wood, as we said, the same way with the canoe, how they curved it out, you could do that and make a box. This is called a bentwood box. A lot of their Tupperware was made out of cedar. And the really neat thing about this is the sides are all one piece. There's no pegs. There's no nothing. What they would do is they'd make a cut in it, heat it up, and then fold it. And so you're folding this piece of wood, and when you get back to the beginning, you'd peg it. It's also very light for what it is. Another aspect of cedar wood is it's really light. Don't throw it up like I do. I should make sure you can catch it. But it's a really nice piece of wood. That's all piece one. They made the clothing, the rope.
Okay. What's this here? Some kind of a list.
What you do, you have your cedar tree, and they would
It's a list of names here.
collect your cedar bark in May, April and May.
Tuesday, March 18th, 1806.
You wouldn't actually girdle the whole tree. They would just take like a 12-inch to 6-inch section.
Looks like I guess the people they had that Lewis and Clark had with them on the expedition, I guess.
Yeah, I guess those that made it this far. I'm guessing. He had quite a few people.
This is gonna be tough here, folks. really dark in here. But we'll do what we can here. Okay, you can see a little bit. It's not bad.
There's like fur. Some more of the material. Some storage bins, I guess, up on top, which are rather impressive.
It's where your duffel bag goes.
Yeah, this here's a chimney, a fireplace, and that's a chimney over there, and that's where your stuff went, I guess. Quite a few people in this area. There's a table right over here.
That's one hard bed.
It's made out of cedar, I think is what she said. That's one of the main things here.
Yeah, the lady who's doing demonstration out there said they made a lot of their stuff out of cedar.
Yes. Kind of drafty during the winter, I would suspect.
Yeah.
On to the next room.
Finally, after about 3.5 months, they just kind of throw up their hands and that's it. Time to go home. We're to better health of the spirits, on the move. The Russians were trading on the river.
Alright, we're in the next room here. This one, the guy we sold earlier is in here, and he actually got a fire going. So this place, the fort is functional.
Oh, definitely. Wouldn't want to live here year round.
No.
Some lamps. Stuff.
Get a pen light.
Oops. One more candles go out. Oh, yes, it did too. I was just getting back to replace a couple.
That is cool.
Of course, it appears they got some. They got a few artificial lights in here too, as well as the candles.
Slightly modernized.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we've been doing these all the time. They're trying to replace a little bit of light in our rooms here. Yes, this is.
Do you guys make your candles here?
Yep, we do. Certain days we do a little more than others, but yeah, we have practice right across the other side there. Some of our molds and they took along with them molds and wicking on the expedition, and then here at Fort Clatsop they said they had run out of their candle supply, but fortunately had taken the precaution of bringing molds, wicking, and with elk tallow could make some more. And we do pretty much the same process. We use beef fat instead of elk or deer. But they would take the molds, wick them up, put a little stick across the top and tie them off, and then render the fat. It hasn't really changed a whole lot over the years, I guess, but just take the fat, cook it up, get the oil out of it, skim off any excess, maybe take a little beeswax and mix it together, kind of about 2/3, 3/4 fat, little beeswax to give it some body, and then pour it down in the molds, let them sit for about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, and then when you're done, you yank them out and you've got some yellow candles, just like we have. There's this one now. Up here, and there's usually made out of fat. They're a little bit oily there, but made out of fat with either a little bit of beeswax or a little bit of paraffin sometimes, just something to help hold it together.
They look just like regular candles.
Yeah, yeah. Here, we just yanked out a bunch of them here about an hour or so ago. But give you a chance to go for another 4 or 5 hours if you're lucky, 3.5, 4 hours maybe. And well, they make tallow candles. We make a whole lot more than they probably ever thought about doing, since we're kind of almost every day, I guess.
Yeah.
But did that. Hunted lots of elk and deer, 131 elk and 20 deer, which got turned into buckskins and moccasins, tallow for candles. Reworked their journals, maps while they were here, found some shortcuts for the return journey. Made some salt while they're here for their diet, for their food, a little bit of trading. Curing meat if they'd like. Trying to meet a trade ship also, but that was a hope never realized. They never did run into one. But by the time they were here, they had gone through their journals, reworked those, new maps, found some shortcuts for the way home again, kind of planned their return journey. Got buckskins, 350 pairs of moccasins, candles made, and finally in late March, after being here a little over 4 months, they just said, that's it, we're better health and spirits on the move, we're going to go. And in late March, they'd hop in their canoes and head home. Spent about 3 weeks trying to push their way through the snows and the Rockies, and but within about 6 months from here, they're back in St. Louis. So they were going downstream now through territory they recognized, they could move on pretty quickly. And for about 50 years, this little fort just stood right in this location, somewhere within a few yards, just slowly rotting away. And
Okay,
along
it
would
did
come
rot.
some.
I couldn't remember if
Yeah.
it burned down or if it just rotted.
Well, it's more like mainly sitting here. It hadn't been used very much. The Clatsops,
Yeah.
Chinook used it a little bit, but
Huh.
they would just sit here overgrown, rotting away. Then along came some settling. There's a house just north of us, another one just south of us, and those folks, pretty much in the 1850s, especially here, would just sort of knock down the remains, and they started clearing the land, and they're the ones that actually kind of torched the remains of it.
Oh, okay.
So it sat here mostly, rotting away till the land
So
was
it
being
was a little
cleared.
bit
And then
both then.
yeah.
Huh.
So
When
pretty much
when was this
cleared.
built?
Let's see, the 1950s, 54, 55, they were working, the local people here, pretty much spearheaded by the JCs. It's kind of a special project for them. So they would do some little bit of old diagrams and references, and this is kind of a special project for the 150th anniversary, and built it sort of half on, half off the old fire pits. Using Clark's diagrams in the journals and old guesswork, they would pretty much come up with this. 1958, it was made then a national memorial, and in the 60s, they built a visitor center, added a little bit to the fort, and over the years been kind of adding, changing, replacing a little bit of the roofing, flooring, some safety materials, but pretty much this is
held
from
up
the
great.
1950s. Yeah.
Of course, it's been maintained too, so.
Right, yeah. Yeah, the local folks had the logs pressure treated, womanized, that helped.
Yeah.
And then just, by being here and maintain, and, it's been a lot better. When Lewis and Clark left, they just sort of gave it to the Clatsops and took off, and Clatsops and Chinooks would reborrow some of the timbers that would leave it open a little bit longer, starting to rot a little bit quicker, and for 50 years it just sort of sat here falling apart until it was finally knocked down and cleared and burned.
Yeah. So do you know what they used in between the logs to keep the...
Right, yeah. The ones we have here, we have a little bit of moss in there. Purposely, they said not to put anything in the replica because it was going to rot quicker. But things like cement, mud, moss, historically mud, pretty much a chinking. If you had any little bits of grass, hay, whatever it might be, but they had a lot of clay here, kind of mixed as clay. They would pack that clay in there and a little chinking in the walls, and that would keep out the weather. So apparently had some of that. But they purposely said with this one, just kind of leave it open, let it breathe, or it'll rot quicker.
Okay, continuing our tour of the fort here. See quite a bit more in this room here.
Looks like the supply room in here.
Okay, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of supply room. We have... Those look like fake pieces of meat hanging up over there.
Yeah.
Just kind of giving the idea. Kind of an illusion type of a thing.
Yeah, this would be storage. You got ropes, some meats, lanterns,
Wood.
other supplies.
Yes. Nicely done, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, check out these hinges. Those are huge.
Just big blocks of wood pegged through in there.
Yeah, this was the candle stuff he was talking about.
Hmm.
How they made the candles.
Huh.
Tells you what they're gonna do.
Well, that's today.
Let's see. The fourth, they're gonna do flintlocks and tools of survival.
It seems like they go throughout the day, just as they would have when Lewis and Clark were actually here.
Yes. Looks like a guard station.
Yeah. You hang your hat and your jacket there, I guess. Yeah. If I remember right, this side here that we were just in was actually the nicer of the two sides, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think these areas here, it's not too bad. This is your, I guess these are your crew quarters, more or less. Got some bunk beds here. Got room for 8 people in here.
Some oars sitting over here at the side. Oh, definite oar. Yeah, woody.
And check this out. We've actually got this tree trunk up through the floor. We just left it.
Hasn't had wax in that cup.
Cup almost looks like it's made out of wax. I guess it's just some little tin cup just coated in wax or whatever.
Here's one of those candles we was talking about. Don't know how we can get that.
Yeah.
There's definite candles and a half.
Do you hang them up to dry or something, or is it
No, I just when we're down here yet.
Okay.
A lot of times the animals like to come down here at night and chew on them.
Oh, okay.
Hang them up.
Keep them up out of the way.
Yeah, we use them. But they take along with the molds and wicking. Unfortunately, they never said how many cavities per mold. Just molds and wicking. And with elk tallow, made some more candles. Mm-hmm. And so we do about the same thing. Just kind of wick them up. There's a kind of sitting over here. You just take the wick and drop it down through the inside, and you have a little knot on the bottom here to kind of hold everything from running out the bottom of your mold. And little sticks go across the top to kind of tie them off to, and then you can kind of move them around and get them lined up. And then you just take the tallow mixture, and we were pouring some earlier, just what kind of builds up there in the bucket.
Yeah, it looked like.
In there. And just pour it down on the inside and let it sit for hour and a half, 2 hours, and then when you're done, you just trim off the little knots in the bottom, kind of like the sticks, and you yank on those, it just pops out a tallow candle. And so
there you go.
Cool. Candle there
that works out.
to see what there too. So they pretty much did. Well, they didn't go into a lot of detail, but just said how they made tallow candles with the elk fat that they could get rid of or use. They ate a lot of what they could too.
Just use the excess for candles.
Yeah. Yes, next door I heard you mention about the stump here. There was one of the rooms here that had a stump of a tree left in it. They never said in the original journals which one it was. A lot of people
this
think it
tree
might have been this one.
Grown after the fort was.
Well, they were here, with the fort. There were all these big trees. A lot of small ones for the fort, but there's occasionally these big ones scattered around. And they tried to position this fort, I guess, sort of around trees, or maybe cut some off. And they just got to one point where they just had the remains of this stump, and they couldn't do much with it, so they just cut it off and just built the fort right around and made a table out of it. When the folks would come out after Lewis and Clark left, they were the ones, the Astorian party and some others would comment about coming to the fort, and in the remains of one of the large rooms was the remains of a stump left there. So apparently they just, building the fort, so they had kind of a stump here and a stump there, and they just
built around.
Go right around it, made the walls, and that became a table. And
well, why not?
There's quite a few of them around here, I guess.
All right. Well, thanks to whoever we were just talking to. We don't know his name, but he gave us quite a bit of information. That was cool. We're outside the fort now, and it almost looks like they might do some kind of a demonstration here. A whole bunch of tree stumps, and then a fire pit here. It's like an old style Indian style fire pit. That's what it looks like. Then we got a trail going out the back here, and I know at least one of, if not all, these trails lead out to the water. Now, what's this here? We got some kind of a billboard. This reminds me of the trail thing there down at Trail of Two Forests.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And water supply.
Doesn't look like any water supply here now. Okay. At present, quote, at present we are content with eating our boiled elk, and I don't know what that word is, wapito, and solacing our thirst with our only beverage, pure water. Sounds good to me. Captain Lewis, Fort Clatsop, January 1st, 1806. Well, if this is their water supply, it's There's not very... Okay, I guess there is water down there, barely. I don't think that even qualifies as a creek. There's just barely water down in there. I don't know if you can see it. The only way you can tell it's water is the reflection.
We do fire these flintlocks quite frequently, and we don't want pieces of flint flying back in your face, kind of protect hearing. There's a lot of concerns in those days with the flintlocks too, and quite a few pretty nasty accidents also. Lewis and Clark, in this case, especially Captain Lewis, probably didn't worry too much about putting a little orange earplugs or adjusting safety glasses. And he wanted to get doing something a little bit different or a little quicker than we do. But we take a few precautions. Captain Lewis probably didn't have to worry about springing the ramrod because he figured probably the weapon was already unloaded. But we haven't done this frequently, so you kind of check to make sure nothing's down inside the barrel. And now you want to load it. You want to put an accurate charge of powder down the barrel. Now sometimes the muskets, in this case, had a blank or a paper charge, and you could have your cartridge already rolled up. You didn't have to go through some of these procedures. We'll take you kind of the long way here. You want to put powder down the barrel. Don't want to blow yourself up, not have too little. Good idea to measure it out if you don't have a cartridge already to go. Now you have to kind of collect the powder and scoot it down the bottom of the barrel. Patch, sometimes lubricated with moisture, moth, maybe a little bit of tallow would work. The lead shot would go on top of that, and the patch kind of surrounds that, and you want to force that down inside, kind of helping surround the rifle ball, make a fairly tight-fitting gas seal, collect the powder. It's usually with the musket, it goes down a little bit smoother than, say, a rifle that has rifling inside the barrel. Good idea to replace your ramrod. If you lost that, you'd be in a real fix trying to get this thing to fire off. Now you have to prime the weapon. And what you do is there's a little depression called the pan. You put a little fine-grained flash powder in that depression, and the frizzen kind of traps that little pocket of powder. And hopefully when the flint hits the steel and makes sparks, it's going to land in that little flash powder, the pan, which goes off through the vent, and hopefully the main charge goes off. A lot of hopefullys with the flintlock. And usually out of the best of conditions, maybe 4 or 5 out of 6 times this will go off. So hopefully it's going to go off for Lewis too. Okay, a couple of quick safety messages. Looks like we're all behind the barricade here, pretty good shape. If you are sensitive to loud noises, you're welcome to put palms of hands up over ears. If we have anybody in the group that has a hearing aid, you might want to turn those down a little bit. And if we do have any little pets or little folks, kind of hold on to them or control them, because usually about 3 and pull the trigger, it sometimes scares them. Also, if somebody wants to try to get a picture, maybe the right time, the flash, the bang, about the best thing we've heard is rest your finger on the shutter button, and when the flash goes off, the bang, usually your finger goes off about the right time. Take a picture up here. Okay, old buckskin-clad explorer, you ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Mr. Grizzly's patiently waiting through all this now. Here we go. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Alright folks, well that's going to do it for our trip to Fort Clatsop today. I hope you enjoyed the tour.
We sure do.
And we want to thank our two
Volunteers.
our
Demonstrators.
Yeah, demonstrators, thank you. Our 2 demonstrators for giving us some information and some demonstrations.
Oh yes.
So that's going to do it for this episode. And
we will definitely leave the
there was
for you.
There was a canoe landing down there by the river or what, some body of water anyway. Down towards that way, and we'll leave that for your viewers out there to explore for yourself.
Absolutely.
So that's gonna do it. I'm Todd Hilton.
I'm Dan Bradley.
And we'll see you next time on Road Trips!